Two very good heavyweight fights on the same night, and I didn't pay for either of them. Now, don't tell anyone about that. Obviously, Takam Chisora was a great fight. Well done to Chisora. Soaked up the punches by Takam, threatened with the greater power, and managed to make it count when Takam started to tire. But this video is about Joseph Parker losing to Dillian Whyte. Very frustratingly for me. I've been a fan of Parker since I saw him look pretty good in the early goings. And he just seems to be a combination of a guy who doesn't believe in himself enough and should have had a trainer swap a long time ago. Very annoying. I mean, to begin with, kudos to Dillian Whyte. He's a guy who makes use of what he's got. When he was throwing with conviction. He was throwing nice counter hooks to the body. He was jabbing, and even when he jabbed, it was a bit sloppy, but he was making it count. A lot of the times in the fight, Parker was jabbing, and he was jabbing in a way where it was just sort of, get away from me, get away from me. He wasn't stepping in with it, and he wasn't skirting around the ring with it either. It's very frustrating with the Kiwi. He did something similar with Anthony Joshua. He throws get away from me punches. He's out of sorts, and then occasionally, all he really had was the right hand. He'd sit down on it, he'd actually throw the right hand with some conviction, and that is what finally, after a period of losing multiple rounds in a row through confused tactics, inactivity, and a lack of conviction, he finally landed the right hand in the last round and hurt Dillian Whyte, has him down, really could maybe about to pull something spectacular, but I suspected probably not because he was too tired and sloppy himself. But, one moment. But an excellent fight. Before that last round, Kevin Barry finally gave him a bit of advice. That was the first assertive thing that I heard Kevin Barry say when he dropped an F-bomb and was basically telling Parker to get stuck the hell in. Get in there, make this work. But Parker, there's so many amateur mistakes he's made. As I say, the best time to have changed trainer for Parker would have been after the Takam fight. Definitely after the Joshua fight, you know, after the biggest fight of your life. Let's have a change, but he hasn't. He's stuck with Barry. And the same, lo and behold, the same technical mistakes have remained. He remains upright in a lot of postures. Worst of all, he remains upright when he comes in close. Now, when you come in close, you drop the shoulder, you drop the chin, the hands come up here, the earmuffs come up, and you barge your guy down. You find space with the elbow, with the forearm, whatever you've got to do to make space, get your own shots off. He remains upright, and that's partly why he got floored officially this time. Not like in the second knockdown when Whyte butted him. That wasn't a knockdown, and if that counted towards the overall scorecards, that's unfortunate. But when he got knocked down by Whyte, was it in the 8th round? A great shot by Whyte, but it happened because of how upright Parker was. You don't go in towards somebody upright like that with your hands here. As I say, you get lower, and there's just so many things Parker does. What's his style about? He still hasn't decided. He's on the outside flicking, then he's throwing a jab. Both of these fighters came into this fight overweight. Whyte was pushing 160. Parker was he 246, 245? A good 10 pounds heavier than he was against AJ. He's too heavy. You could see both of them were tired at times, breathing through the mouth. There wasn't a consistency to either of their work, you know. They're both decent guys, decent heavyweights with they produced an entertaining fight for sure. But both of these guys were not in professional shape here. And it's always frustrating with Parker. As I say, credit to Dillian Whyte for winning that fight. Fair play to him. But it's always frustrating with Parker because you've got a guy there, whereas with Whyte, it's a guy who's making the best of what he's got. He's tough and he's powerful, he's a bit sloppy. Whereas Parker, he's got genuine speed, he's got some moves, but it just comes in little flares, and then he has just like ridiculous switch-off moments where round by round goes by, and he's not doing anything. He's throwing a pitter-patter jab, he's barely throwing the right hand. He throws the occasional like lead left uppercut that gets a nod from Whyte, but again, there's a lack of consistency. Now, 2 fights in a row, very entertaining. The last round at least made up for it for Parker, and it might have given his career a life raft there, because had he have not got that last round knockdown, I think Parker may very well have just faded into nowhere. But I think there's too much of a nice guy element with him. He definitely needs a new trainer, or if Kevin Barry's got anything left in his barrel of wisdom, he needs to teach him how to fight at different distances, how to be consistent, and they need to be coming into the ring. If Parker wants to continue his career, he needs to be coming into the ring no heavier than 240. He needs to be in the 230s from now on. But Whyte is the guy who won. Whyte AJ2 is the fight that Eddie Hearn would love to make. He's got all his chess pieces in position as usual. If the Deontay Wilder fight doesn't go ahead, in April of next year, providing Joshua beats Povetkin, of course, in September, which he probably will. Then he's just got Whyte AJ2 to make, which I'm not that excited about that. I think AJ has improved to a degree where he would get rid of Whyte easily. I don't think Whyte has improved that much, only marginally, and it would be an easy fight, I think, for AJ. But Eddie Hearn would be happy to make that, and the casuals would lap it up. But ultimately, a great night of boxing. 2 great heavyweight fights in a row. Well done to Dillian Whyte, but ultimately, again, Parker, it seems like a lack of focus in his career. It's a talent which hasn't been made the most out of. He's still 26. There's still something he can be done. The fact he had that last round, as I say, he's given him a life raft. But, man, if he wants to continue here and make a name for himself in this division, he really needs to have a look at himself because he's got the talent, but he's not making the use out of them. But the last word goes to Dillian Whyte. He was the consistent one. He was the one who landed good left hooks to the body. Even though Parker kind of let him, it was a beautiful left hook to the head that floored him. He's the guy who deserves to win, and he deserves his moment under the spotlights.